Hello and welcome to another rendition of Foam at 5 presented to you by the Beer Fridge Podcast. My name is Gavin, running solo this afternoon, but I am joined and very excited to be joined by Gary from Ossett Brewery. Good afternoon, mate. How you doing?
Afternoon. Good, thank you. Literally just clocked off, grabbed myself a pint, come round to the pub, and happy to chat.
Yeah, I mean, this is in the 7 years that we've done this podcast as a foursome, this is the first time I've ever done a Friday afternoon podcast, and I actually think it should be a new tradition. Finish your work, grab a beer, record a podcast, talk nonsense about beer. Sounds like a great mix. So I think you may have started something, mate.
Happy to help with that one. Yeah, I appreciate you reshuffling calendars a bit to meet my schedule.
No, I'd like to say I think you've started something there. As I mentioned, Gary is from Ossett Brewery in Yorkshire. I think the best thing to do is to get a brief history of the brewery and how it kind of started, because the likes of myself, like I've only known that you were coming on this afternoon. I was doing a bit of research, didn't realise how long the brewery had been kicking about, and much like others, potentially only seen the brewery when it kind of showed up on the supermarket shelves. So give us a little background on the brewery.
Yeah, so Ossett Brewery actually started back in 1998, and it actually started pretty much where I'm sat right now. It was started in the back of a pub called the Brewer's Pride. The pub is now known as Brewers 1842, but that's only a very, very recent change. But 1998, back of a pub, and at that point it was purely just making beer for the pub to sell. And
I suppose those things like that, those kind of brew pubs, like they're just like there wasn't many of them, and there still isn't loads of them in fairness, but it seems like just a completely it makes so much sense to do it as a brew pub. If you start your own brewery, like you make it on site, you sell it on site, it just makes more sense. Direct customer base, direct kind of feedback from the customers as well. Just makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So originally it was just 2 fermenters on a 5 brewers barrel kit. I mean, I'm a pretty modern brewer, as it were, so I work in hectolitres now, so I couldn't tell you the exact conversion off the top of my head, but yeah, the original brew kit with 5 brewers barrel, and yeah, it was out the back of here for approximately 6 years, and throughout that time, just steady growth. More pubs sort of came into the fold at that point, so it wasn't just this one. In those sort of early days, we then picked up the 3 Pigeons at Halifax, Black Bull at Liversedge, and the Rat and Ratchet actually in Huddersfield, and just trying to supply those. I mean, the big at that point, but just supplying those pubs, it wasn't enough. So at that point, that's when we needed to sort of think bigger, better, and expand. So 2004, where the brewery is currently stood, that's when that sort of came about, and it was all on a second-hand kit. I've been reliably informed by Mr. Paul Spencer that the kit was actually bought in from Sweden, and actually the mash tun we replaced 2 weeks ago was that original mash tun. So that served for 22 years, and approximately 8,000 batches of beer went through that.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
You could just the history of that mash tun and the amount of beers, successful beers and non-successful beers, it's probably that mash tun is probably seen as astonishing. But to have
absolutely, yeah, you can't get them right every time.
No.
I don't think anybody can, and anybody who says otherwise, I think they're lying personally. But yeah, I'd like to think more successful than not. But yeah, it's a hell of a history behind that mash tun. It's a little bit of a shame to see it go, really, but. No, the new one just in the middle of commissioning at the moment and going really smooth, bigger, better, faster, more efficient, and yeah, it's bringing about some big change.
I feel like you should maybe with that old one, like just take some bits off it and like make tables or make some chairs out of it, just so you can keep some bits of it and use it as and make it any other bits of furniture. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah,
there was some ideas thrown around. I mean, a fan favorite amongst the brewers was to potentially turn it into a giant hot tub, but I think that was scrapped pretty quick. That idea. So
yeah. That's awesome. You mentioned there, Gary, before, like you see yourself as more of like a modern brewer as such. Talk us through like that creative process of keeping tradition, but also making sure you're keeping up with the current kind of modern brewing processes and styles that are out there. How challenging can that be?
Clearly it is a challenging thing to do, trying to fight tradition versus innovation. But at the same time, as long as you're respecting one, the other sort of comes naturally with it. Brewing in itself is probably I think it is officially like one of the oldest professions in the world. We only have to look back thousands of years. We see Egyptians brewing beer, so it's not something that's just popped up overnight. Things have obviously changed a fair bit since then, but I think that, to be honest, that is something that we do. Personally, I think do very well here at Ossett is that mix of tradition versus modern. So the powerhouse behind Ossett has always been the Cask beers there. It's what sort of built that reputation from the early days. But as you said, the people watching this now may have only really seen or heard of Ossett through the supermarkets, which in itself has most likely come through those more modern beers. So it's just more of a case of just keeping your finger on the pulse and reacting to what the market's wanting, and still sticking with those traditions at the same time.
Do you find yourself like when you're coming up with new recipes and stuff, looking outside and seeing what is selling, or is it a case of looking in within and what you guys as a team at Ossett want to be drinking, or is it a bit of both?
No, it's always both. It's always both. We obviously want to produce what the people want to drink. At the same time, it's what we want to be drinking as well. I mean, I'm not the only one in the pub right now. It's a bit of a Friday tradition to head around with everybody when you finish. So I'm currently sat at one end of the pub, but I believe there's about 30 others at the other side of the pub, between the brewing team, packaging teams, the delivery drivers, everybody, and anybody and everybody who's on site. They all try and, if they can, finish for 2:00 and all go to the pub together. So it's not just what the customers want; it is what we want as well. So. Yeah, and there'll be some of them here till kick out tonight. I can guarantee that.
Good stuff. I mean, Ossett Brewery very much prides itself and is very proud Yorkshire-based brewery. How important is that for you guys to kind of emphasize that within the beers and on the packaging and stuff, and to almost, like you said, they're that local community where you guys clock off at 2:00, 2:30, and all get together?
Yeah, massively important. So, I mean, one of those original casks in that lineup, it's always been known as Yorkshire Blonde. Very, very recently, with our last sort of update on the rebrand, we sort of brought that forward and actually renamed it to Ossett Blonde. So that's like Yorkshire heritage has always been a part of it. At the same time, with this rebrand, they're celebrating the local community as well. So we wanted to put Ossett on the map, both for the town and for us as a brewery, and we figured the best way to do that was taking one of our iconic beers and literally putting the name on it. So that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. In fairness, every beer that I've had at you guys from the supermarkets, and like I said at the start, that's how I've come across you guys, which I feel almost ashamed, seeing as you've been kicking about for like 27 years. So I almost feel bad. I don't even feel worthy to call myself a beer geek anymore. As a brewery, been kicking about for 27 years. I've not even seen them. Shame on me. But the beers that you've got available in the supermarkets, the two standouts for me is King Rat. I think is potentially one of the best, and there's a handful of beers in the supermarkets that you can say are decent, really good, decent beers. Is King Rat, the Hazy IPA, and the Ossett Blonde, the one you've just mentioned. For me, the King Rat, just that kind of dank, stone fruity, that vibe that comes through, the passion fruit, grapefruit. I think it is one of those beers that you could easily see on a bottle shop, and it wouldn't be out of place as such, as the marketing is good and the liquid inside the can is also good. So to see that within a supermarket is fantastic. I've picked it up 4 or 5 times now. It's almost becoming a Sierra Nevada. It's I almost go Sierra Nevada kind of stone brewing IPA, and then I'll pick up an Ossett and then something else. So it's coming at almost an automatic pick for me at the moment.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's probably one of my personal favorites at the moment as well. To be completely honest with you, it's a strange one as well. Like you're saying, that the brewery 27, 28 years old. I mean, I've only been here I'll be a year of that at the end of this month. But yeah, to sort of take on that sort of legacy that was already there and try and build on that was certainly no small task that was put in front of me, and helping develop the rat range alongside the likes of Paul Spencer, who had been here for the majority of that time, and Matt Howgate as well. So we do have some fairly big names working up here as well. So yeah, developing that sort of rat range and bringing out a brand new core line, King Rat being one of those. It's been a challenge, but it's been a lot of fun at the same time. So helping sort of hop, skip, and jump straight into the 21st century there. Whereas, like you said, Ossett's always been known for the cask, but we wanted to sort of branch out a bit further and bring everything into the 21st century and modernise. And yeah, so big New England IPAs was a no-brainer right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with them. They sell. They're good beers and good sessional beers as well that people enjoy to have. You mentioned a couple of names there as well. I mean, like I said, you mentioned yourself as a kind of tight-knit group. Who, for yourself, who would you say are the unsung heroes of Ossett who don't get mentioned much, but in the background do a ton of work that makes your life easier?
To be honest, the entire team, the entire team make me look good. So the reason I'm started talking to you now is because you needed a face on it, but I could have easily picked any of the brewers or anybody in any of the departments to do this just as well. They know the beers inside and out. They know the processes. They're just as passionate about it. There's everybody wants to be involved. Everybody likes to have a say. They're all keen and interested in everything that we're doing at every stage. So. Yeah, to be honest, it'd be doing the rest of them an injustice just to name 2 or 3.
I think like that speaks to a brewery that is kind of that is together to be long in the tooth and going for 27 years, but still looking at every member of the team, like you said, has an influence, has a say, where breweries that have been going that long, where they almost become slightly corporate, you could easily just become a number, so to speak, and your voice isn't necessarily heard. So it's good to hear that, like I said, everyone up and down the chain has a voice and can chip in their 50 pence of what they believe and what they think Ossett should be going for. But it also does sound like you guys are all kind of singing from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much that my microphone's picking it up, but I can just hear everything going on there. It's getting to the point now I'm wondering if they're going to end up drowning me out because everybody's just, yeah.
No, it sounds
it's all about the beer. It's all about what's going on, what's happening, what's been happening. Yeah, it's just a buzz all the time.
The other bit, whilst I was kind of looking up you guys and doing some research for yourself joining this afternoon, was a bit of a surprise, and that I didn't realize this and such, that yes, I've said I've come across you guys since you were in the supermarkets, but I didn't realize there was an affiliation with the Salt Beer Factory as well. That came as a little surprise to myself as well. Where does that kind of fit in?
Yeah, so I mean, there are officially 4 breweries sort of under the Ossett banner. Ossett, obviously being the sort of the mother site, as it were. Salt came about in 2017. So Jamie Lawson, he decided that he wanted to sort of progress and push into that craft bracket, but at that time wanted to do it as a separate arm from Ossett itself, and essentially just ran with it from there. But a purpose-built brewery in an ideal location that was literally built around the idea of this new brand to sort of focus on modern craft.
So is there much crossover between them at all, like bouncing ideas off, or is it just a case of they are just kind of their own separate things?
They are essentially run separately, independently as two separate companies. However, I do sort of head up both of those, so I'm overseeing both of them as the head of brewing. So there's definitely overlap there between the two. The other two I mentioned, I've already briefly alluded to it with the Rat and Ratchet in Huddersfield. You've got the Rat Brewery there, and the other one is in Marsden. So we've got Riverhead Brewery there as well. So they are two small brew pubs. Again, just mostly producing for themselves, but whatever's left, they let the rest of us have it. So Paul,
is that
Paul
also?
Is that was the head brewer here for years? And when I sort of came on board, he'd moved into the role to look after those brew pubs. So I do still work alongside him there. So he's still very much on the scene here at Ossett.
Oh, amazing. Is that kind of like having those other breweries under the umbrella made it easier for you guys to kind of reach different markets and kind of bounce off each other in terms of being able to get the beer further afield where potentially some customers have never heard of either of the breweries? Is that made it easier to kind of expand the range and expand the customer base?
I would like to think so. Yes, like you said, there are some pubs and bars out there that only really want traditional ale house, traditional cask. There's other your city centre trendy craft bars that only want the haziest and the juiciest of IPAs. But because of having that sort of wider scope, as it were, as a company, it allows us to tackle multiple markets at the same time, and rather than just having one specific focus, it keeps everything flexible and variable for us. So it's a fun one to try and juggle that on the production side, but I think that one's more a sales marketing type question there. I couldn't too much more into that.
Yeah, it's a sales problem. Don't bring that to the brewing team. It's a sales problem. You kind of touched on it there that some of the bars and stuff are more traditional and prefer the kind of cask stuff. How, like, obviously over the last kind of year or two, sales in cask have nationwide have dropped, but you find pockets where it has stayed steady. How is that balance of wanting to make sure that you keep those customers coming that love their cask stuff, but at the same time, obviously keeping the doors open to some extent where cask sales and, like I said, in general, haven't been the best across the nation? Like how is that balance? Is that a difficult one to kind of sort out?
It's not one I can probably give a definite answer to be honest, but it's one of those where, I mean, it's no big secret that the pubs are struggling everywhere, but the ones that are surviving, there are a good handful of them that are thriving, and I mean the key focus for us is essentially the quality, consistency, and availability of our products. So with every single batch that we brew, it's checked at every single stage, and if there's anything we're not happy about, we do our best to fix it, and if we can't fix it, we don't release it. It's as simple as that. But it's not only harmful for us, but it is also harmful for those who are buying our beer in to sell and advertise that product for us. So we want the best product out there, in which case everybody wins: the customer, the person buying our beer, and us. So that's like I said, our key focus is that quality and consistency. So
I mean, we on the podcast, we're massive advocates for a cask beer that sometimes can be the best format for beers, for certain styles of beers as well, especially. You guys have had the World Hop Series. Most recent one was a dry hop pale. USA you went to, or beer wise you went to. Citra Mosaic and Cascade sounds absolutely fantastic, traditional in its sense, and almost making me wish I had a cask beer right now. Talk us through that series as well.
Yeah, so with that entire series was born on the back of a previous existing series of the single hops. So the idea with that was the same base grist or same malt bill behind it, and then as each new one was released, it was essentially the only thing that was changing was the hop variety. So not only does it help everybody within the brewery learn the different sort of profiles to expect in terms of flavour and aroma and what to expect from each hop, but again, it helps the customers to learn what they're drinking, learn about what they're drinking there as well. So off the back of that, we decided to sort of pick our favourites and showcase them a bit more of a blend, and sort of tailor the styles to it as well, rather than keeping the styles the same. So as you said there with the US ones, we've gone for a big dry hop pale, so the grist itself is relatively straightforward, but combining hops that we know work well together for a more complex profile on that. Another one we did a New Zealand pale, and that was done as a hazy cask, so something you wouldn't necessarily see as much. So a lot softer, a lot smoother in that profile, a lot closer to a New England style. Just again allowing those slightly different profiles there to shine. And even UK, we did one earlier in the year for the UK, and I mean the obvious choice there was the best bitter. So we showcased some newer varieties of UK hops while still sticking with that sort of traditional wheelhouse of a very, very old school cask style. So
it's another piece that we've spoken about a few times, and it'd be good to kind of get your thoughts on it. This trying to modernize cask and cask ales, and bring, like you said, when you did the kind of a more hazier cask beer that maybe traditional drinkers would stay away from, thinking that doesn't look right. Again, is that something that you personally would like to see more of, a kind of like occasional kind of more modern styles being put in that more traditional format, or is it kind of, again, is it hard to find that mix? I suppose it is.
I mean, no, absolutely. I'd definitely like to see more of it. It's one of those things where there are certain styles that suit different serving methods. So, I mean, I have had cask beers sour beers that have been on cask, and although some are better than others, personally, it's one of those. I think that one works better at a colder temperature. Not quite suited for cask, in my opinion, but it's not something. If I see it, I'll still try it. I'm more than happy to. Yeah. Same for hazy casks, like you said. There's always going to be pushback on there, especially with traditional drinkers. But part of what we'd like to do as well is sort of educate that it's not always as bad as it seems. Just because the cask is hazy doesn't mean necessarily it's off like it might have done 5, 10, 20 years ago. Cask is just another serving method, and there's no reason why other beer styles shouldn't be included in there as well. There's no reason just to limit it to a basic 2 or 3 styles. It is a serving method that we are proud of. It's sort of our wheelhouse as a very well established brewery. So by all means, I'm more than happy to push the boundaries on it, and if other people see it the same way, then even better.
Yeah, probably it ties in quite nicely, because obviously as of yesterday, as we record this on the 19th, so the 18th kicked off Cask Ale Week, pubs across Leeds, etc. And the other ones that you mentioned, and most of them will probably have the White Rat Session Pale. And talk us through that, and what other beers you've got out there on Cask.
White Rat, that was one that actually originally started out of Rat and Ratchet. It was a beer that was in the very early days told would never work. It was far too dry, far too bitter, and the customers wouldn't drink it. And now it's become a bit of an entity all of its own. So much so that next year we will actually be celebrating the 15th birthday of White Rat. So
wow.
It's very, very well established. That one sort of came under the Ossett banner around about sort of COVID time, during sort of lockdown, as it were. Sorry, just after lockdowns, just as sort of the pubs were reopening there. It's one that was at the time sort of been split between the 2 sites in terms of where it was being brewed purely for demand. The brewery at Rat is pretty small in comparison to Ossett, and even just to supply our own pubs and our own bars, it couldn't keep up with demand on that one beer alone, let alone produce anything else that they wanted to out of there. So Ossett was helping out there by producing that. But pretty much as soon as sort of lockdown ended and the demand came back, pubs reopened, that's when it was fully moved into sort of that Ossett brand hold. right now we're producing between 4 and 5 brews a week, and each of those is in the region of about 7,000 litres, so 15,000 pints. 3, 4, 5 of those a week. So it really is an entity all of its own. It's sort of our brand hero, as it were, and I mean, so much so that with that new rat range, we sort of took the idea of rat and ran with it. We've always been proud of the beers that have come out of Rat and Ratchet, as well as the other breweries, obviously. But we sort of use that brand hero, ran with that, and built an entire brand around that beer, because it's this one that everybody else seems to celebrate. So we figured, why not celebrate it as well?
To be honest, it's the rat range. I think is a brilliant idea, and it looks awesome. The marketing is fantastic for it.
Yeah, the team have done a really, really good job on that one.
Talk us through. So obviously the kind of newest beer that's available at the moment is New Fog. New Fog Rat, excuse me, is a New England IPA at 6%. That sounds fucking brilliant.
So actually we've gone one further since then. So Fog Rat, we essentially just set out to create an absolutely supercharged New England IPA, celebrating one of our favorite hops in the form of Citra there. So that one was dry hopped continuously. We've used every possible variety of Citra we could get our hands on. So we're using liquid products there, advanced hop products in the form of like Incognito and Spectrum. We're using BBC hops. We're using Cryo hop. There was, if we could get it in a different form of Citra, we were putting it in there, and we put it in at every possible stage. And that was all within super soft, super hazy, oak filled, wheat filled New England IPA there. It was fun to do, because it was essentially taking everything that we already know and love about the style and sort of turning it up to 11. But since then we've gone one further in the form of Smog Rat. So we now have an 8.4, I want to say. It's either 8 to 8.4. I can't quite tell you now. So we've kept Citra in there because of how much we love it, but for sort of added complexity and added profile on that one, we've also thrown in Nelson Sauvin and Amarillo as well, just for good measure. So three of my personal favorite hops, as well as the brewery's favorites, and really turned the dials up on that one. And I mean, shortly after this, I think they've just put it on the bar here, so I'll be going and getting a couple of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a right teeth kicker. That one sounds awesome, especially like you said it. 8.2, 8.4%. That sounds like a sessionable beer to me.
Every beer is a sessionable beer. Depends how long you want the session to be. No, that very much is one of those beers that you were mentioning earlier, whether it's customer led or brewery led. We know the customer likes a big New England IPA, but that one was very much sort of a bit of a selfish one. That is, I want a big New England. I want this in there, and this is what I'm going to do. So,
I think
made the most of that one.
Yeah, I think every once in a while you're allowed to hold on a minute, tell the sales team to shut up and go, I don't care what you guys think. I'm going to make this beer, and it's up to you guys to sell it or not to sell it. If you don't sell it, I'll just keep it. Too bad.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wins in that scenario as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a great scenario to me. If you've probably already just mentioned it, in fairness. I mean, if there was one beer and style of beer that you haven't brewed yet that you'd love to brew, what would be kind of your dream beer as such? And you've potentially already just done it in that one you've just mentioned.
To be honest, my choice in beer, it changes like the weather. It usually is weather dependent as well. I've had the fortune of, over the last few years, not just here, of having quite a free reign and control over new product development and specialty beers. I don't think there's a style that nothing immediately jumps out that I have wanted to brew and not been able to. So right now I'm happy with the sun's back out. So big hazy beers, happy with that. As soon as the sun starts disappearing, the rain's back out, and wind turns, the rain starts coming down, it'll be big dark beers at that point as well. So we'll be seeing the likes of Fat Rat and various other stouts as well. So like Barguest, if I wanted a cask, was one of our core lines there. So yeah.
Well, you've kind of started to answer my next question already. It was what are the future beers we can look forward to from Ossett, and what is over the horizon?
Well, we are actually already looking into next year. So we're taking what's worked well this year, what's worked well in previous years, and where do we want to be next year. So obviously the big push is going to be on the Rat range there. So there'll be a lot of new exciting beers coming out of there. We'll be working closely with other friends within the industry as well. So some very traditional sort of cask powerhouses there, as well as some big names in the craft beer industry too. People love the Lab Rat and love the Fat Rat, so we'll be seeing more of those and more variations of those. So we've already seen 2 variations of Lab Rat now with the key lime pie and the raspberry ripple ice cream. So we've got those. There will be more of those and of that sort. Fat Rat is still in its first iteration, but there are plans for one of those before the end of the year as well to get a new one of those out. It's big things coming on the front for all aspects of it. To be honest with you, it's hard to try and single out just one thing in particular.
Yeah, no, totally. It's probably a kind of better way to have it, where you've got various different plans where you can see the future of the next kind of end of the year, next 3 months going, where you've got those product developments and stuff. And like you said, you guys have got that immediate kind of customer feedback with the brew pubs. Do you find that as an advantage to you guys that other breweries who don't have access to a brew pub or their own tap room puts you a little bit ahead, where you can be more reactive to what customers are wanting?
Oh, massively so. Yeah, it's not just the permanent lines or those that are taking our beer regularly, even if they're not on permanent. But we have over 30 pubs and bars within our own group as is. So and they're all in very, very varied locations, from sort of those trendy city centre locations to out in the sticks, proper old school country pubs. So it keeps our finger on the pulse and ready to react to any and every scenario. If people are seeing more of a trend in one direction or another, then that's fed back. It really is a sort of a big advantage for us.
Again, on a personal note for yourself, what would be your dream collaboration?
It's a tough one, is that one, because I've been asked that a few times on a couple of other even like Meet the Brewer nights and that. And I mean, it's to be honest, for me right now, I think
you could always end up picking like 3 or 4 because you go, I love this, I love that, I love this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm off over to the States next week for the hop harvest there, for the Yakima harvest. So my mind's sort of really focused on that at the moment. I've been focusing a lot on US breweries recently, not just the ones that are near where I'm going to be, but also just wider afield. And, I mean, from a personal perspective, just in terms of absolutely outrageous, monstrous beers that they do, would be probably Adroit Theory for me. They're producing some absolutely insane sours and stouts at the moment. And I mean, some of them look more like desserts than they do beers. And I've seen them about a fair bit. I've had a few of their beers over the years, and that for me probably number one in terms of a brewery to work with.
It's almost with those guys where it's you're looking at it and going, where's the spoon? I need a spoon to eat this. I'm not drinking this. I need to eat it. Is that viscous?
It looks like they could balance the can on top and it wouldn't sink. You put a full can on top of it and it's still sitting there on top of it. It's mad. It really is.
Crazy stuff. Gary, where would be, and you've mentioned a few of them already, but for people listening and who may not know, and we've mentioned most of them already, but where would be the best place for people who are interested in grabbing hold of Ossett beers?
We are very sort of firmly placed within Yorkshire as a whole in terms of our own pub estate. For anybody who's interested for Cask Ale Week, we've got big events happening in Leeds, Nottingham, and Liverpool, to my knowledge. But to be honest, we're getting out there. I know for a fact that there's a fair few bars in Newcastle that are taking our beers. There's I mean, there are the salt taps in London as well, so you can find some of the rep range in those bars too, even if you can't find the cask. Our beers are really getting about around most of the country. It's there if you look, and if it's not there, tell your landlord and tell him to get some beer in.
Yeah,
we'll do our best to get it there.
You're definitely wrong. If you look in the right places, they are there. Fun enough, I spotted a Ossett beer in Brighton a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember where. I remember seeing it. But also, as we mentioned previously, you're in Tesco's now and Asda, and I want to say Sainsbury's.
And those and Morrison's as well, to my knowledge.
Yes, that was the one. So head over to the supermarkets if you can't get to the up to Leeds or anywhere that establishment that has.
If you're really struggling as well, there's always the web shop too. That core range we normally have in cask, they are now all available in cans too. We had most of them in bottles before, but our entire range is now available in cans. The rep range, Ossett range, salt range, they're all there on the website. Just
go and check out OssettBrewery.co.uk is the place you need to go and visit. Funnily enough, if you go on the website, you sign up to the mailing list, you get a cheeky little 10% off as well, which is a good little bonus. Why not? Why would you not sign up?
Why not indeed?
The other thing to shout out as well is make sure you go over to all the social media pages. The team are doing a great job of putting up videos and stuff and keeping people up to date, especially with the Cask Ale week that's just kicked off. So keep your eyes peeled on that for what's serving and where it's serving. So go and check out all the social media pages as well. Gary, it's not, as I say, it's short and sweet. It's not really, to be fair, but for me, on a personal note, to discover for someone who's done this podcast for 7 years and to come across, for me anyway, a new brewery that's been kicking about for 27 years, it's really exciting for me to kind of discover that back catalogue of beers and those beers that have held you guys up, but also go through the new range. And that, like I said, that Rat series looks fantastic. Really excited to get stuck into it. I've placed an order this afternoon to get some of them over because some of them just look ridiculous. So looking forward to tasting all those because they, like I said, they look awesome, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to the feedback on that. Appreciate it.
Well, it might be drunken feedback, but it'll be feedback nonetheless.
Feedback's feedback. Drunken feedback's more fun, so that's fine by me too.
From myself, again, Gary, appreciate your time. From Foam at 5, presented by the Beer Fridge podcast. We will see you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
1, 2